Okay, this is the Planets of the Solar System project for Earth and Space Science. This is a high school level course, mainly a freshman level course required to graduate. Curriculum standards addressed, mainly the sciences inquiry, along with some Earth and Space Science. The benchmarks are listed below. Also, the technology standards addressed are listed here. Creativity and innovation for sure, and creating a project. Collaborations, because students will be working in groups of 3 or 4. Plenty of research is happening, so research and information fluency. Also, digital citizenship, of course, and technology operations and concepts will be covered. A description of this particular project is that students and groups will develop a travel agent package to entice the public, which will be the class and of course the teacher, to visit their particular planet as a possible vacation, assuming that would be possible. Brings it into a little bit of creativity, along with plenty of information and about the particular planet. Students will definitely become experts on their planet and will demonstrate this travel agent package in front of the class. Instructional objectives: students will research and arrange relevant and accurate information about a given planet from a number of resources. They will need to use books as well as the internet. Nothing can be plagiarized. The student will create and present a keynote presentation, and the group of students will present that in front of the class. They will also present a travel agent brochure. They will also construct and display a visual aid in their presentation, and as always they will include a works cited page to cite any information found. Teacher preparation has to do with an arbitrary way to assign different planets to each group. I generally divide up the group into 7 groups because there are 7 planets, and we draw at random for the planet that we will be getting. The teacher definitely should prepare hard copies, and possibly and not only possibly, but it'd be encouraged to present a digital link for instructions on the project. Also, grading rubrics and procedures, and a plan for how this is incorporated within the given chapter would be important for a teacher to design prior to this. Also, helpful websites to allow students a few examples of where to go to find information. The active student participation: students will work cooperatively in groups. Within that group, they may designate a group leader to maybe oversee things, to be in charge of everyone so that things are happening the way they need to be. Also, with the teacher preparation, a teacher might design the group so that each group would have a good possible group leader, assuming the group elected that person. Students will definitely be actively researching information and constructing visual aids and brochures via computer technology and any physical tools that they are allowed to use. Adaptations for special learners. This project is designed that all students of all levels could be included in each group, and would highlight different abilities for each student, such as artistic abilities, or research proficiency, or leadership qualities. The project lends itself to all ability ranges and includes various skills and traits that can be highlighted by each individual student. Students are assessed as an individual and as a group. For the group, they have a keynote presentation, a brochure, a visual aid, and a works cited that have all students' names on them. Students are also assessed individually by a personal assessment of themselves and their group members, included with their group members' assessment, and class participation as seen by the teacher. This project is tailored specifically for the astronomy's chapter, so there are very few variations. The main variations could include different grading procedures and so on. Pre and post lesson details. The previous chapter just begins in studying space, kind of an introduction to astronomy. The current chapter is the planets of the solar system, and all of this is leading up to the post chapter, which would be minor bodies of the solar system, such as satellites and moons. The first day in this lesson begins with the following bellwork question: what is your least favorite planet? It allows students to start thinking of what other planets other than Earth we have, and details about them. Students get new seating arrangements so that they will draw for their planet, and the seating arrangements will promote students being in the same area as their group members to make it easier for class time. Students will begin by brainstorming, coming up with ideas for the project, and then after they've had some time to do that, we come back in and work on some notes over the solar system, Kepler's laws, and some of Newton's explanations. Day 2 has another bellwork question. What are some differences between inner and outer planets? Hopefully students can identify that the outer ones are a gas, composed mostly of gas, and the inner planets are rocky, solid planets. Then we cover notes over the objects in space and the beginning of the formation of planets. Then we have an activity of planet distances from the sun. Students will scale down their planet's diameter and distance from the sun, and then once they get an accurate measurement, we go out onto the sidewalk and they draw out their planets along about 100-yard stretch so that they can see how far apart the outer planets are comparatively to the inner planets. Any remaining time would be designated for the planet project that day. Day 3 involves more comparison of the inner planets with Earth in the bellwork so that they can think of how Mercury, Venus, and Mars are similar and different to Earth. And then we'll take some notes over the rest of the inner planets, or not the rest, all of them but Mars, Mercury, Venus, and Earth. And any remaining time will be designated for students to work on their planet project. Day 4 has another bellwork question, kind of assessing what's happening with their research. By now they should have found out many interesting facts about their planet, and they need to address at least one of these in a bellwork. Then we'll take notes over the rest of the inner planets, rest of Earth and Mars, and students will have some time to work on their planet projects as usual. At this point, I'll announce the due date for the keynote presentation, which would be 2 class periods later in day 6. Then we would go back to notes over the first outer planet, Jupiter, and if there's any time at the end, it will be designated for the planet project. Day 5 has another bellwork question that asks students to think about what's beyond the last planet, and the last planet is considered to be Neptune. Obviously Pluto, but there's more other objects similar to Pluto beyond that, so they're trying to think of what else might be out there inside our solar system. And then we'll take notes over the rest of the outer planets. Then for another assignment filler in this chapter, there's an outer planets and objects crossword to be given as well. And then students will finish the chapter 7 notes over Pluto and all of the objects beyond Pluto in our solar system and exoplanets as well. Of course, any remaining time will be designated for the planet project. Day 6 allows with another bellwork question, probing students to come up with a possible test question, and as we go over the bellwork, it's essentially a review for them. Then students will complete chapter 7, 27 section quizzes over the current chapter, and then we go over the correct answers. It's not for a grade, but it shows them some possible test questions and how well they know the information without studying. Gives them a chance to gauge where they're at with the information. Then we hand out the chapter 27 study guide, and I give them time to work on that, to complete that. That is to be due before the test for a grade. It kind of allows them a last refresher on the information, and any remaining time will be designated for the planet project. And the keynote presentations are due on this current day. Day 7 has the bellwork question, have them turn in their bellwork and study for their tests. Then I allow them some individual time to study. And then after that, we'll play a review Jeopardy for the Chapter 27 information as a fun way to study for the test. Then they will take the test, and any remaining time will be to work on the planet project, although the presentations are due on the following day. Day 8 concludes the planet presentation section. They will prepare to present their projects and present them in front of the class. A new seating arrangement will be allowed to separate students again, and then they will complete final evaluations while they are not close to each other in the setting. Then the last day features presenting the planet projects.